Well, that happened. Avs lose to the Los Angeles Kings 7-1. So the bad news is this game was absolutely awful, obviously, but the good news is that loss isn't the end of the world. What does make it hurt a little bit more is that we started off so well. Through the first 3 minutes of the first period, the Avs outshot the Kings 6-1. MacKinnon, Rantanen, and Landeskog were absolutely flying all over the place, and it looked like it was going to be a good game. It even paid off. The top line would manage to score the first goal less than 4 minutes in. With the puck dumped in here, Landeskog and MacKinnon are going to combine in the near corner to win a puck battle. From there, Landeskog is going to go full power forward, drive the net. He gets a backhand off. It creates chaos in front. Quick can't cover it, and Rantanen eventually finds it and puts it past him. A sloppy goal counts as a pretty goal all the same. MacKinnon and Rantanen both keep their point streaks alive, and Landeskog once again getting involved in the offense. Unfortunately, that would be the end of anything worth talking about that was good for the Avalanche in this one. The Avs just got completely crushed for the rest of the game. They were sloppy not only in the defensive zone, but in all three zones. They just struggled to make passes and hold onto the puck everywhere. It would take less than a minute for the Kings to tie the game at 1. Varley's going to leave the puck behind the net for Zadorov. He's going to go to collect it, and then we're going to see him get pressured by Dustin Brown right here. Unfortunately, Zadorov tries to spin away from him, but he leaves the puck behind, so he then just tries to flail at it to get it past Brown and over to Johnson. Brown blocks it, recovers it, and you can see Kopitar just chilling in the slot, waiting for that pass, and he beats Varley. I don't want to single out Zadorov too much. He did have a bad game, but everyone on the Avs had a bad game. The thing is, Johnson clearly isn't 100% yet, so when Zadorov has a bad game, the whole defensive core is likely to have a bad game. That goal against would set the Avs into a spiral of that sloppiness I was talking about, and just 3 minutes later, the Kings would take the lead and the Avs would never see it again. A clean lost faceoff actually comes back to haunt the Avs for once here. It's one clean back to Muzzin. Muzzin's just going to slide across, throw a shot on net, and it finds its way through. And that one, it hurts, but it's not that horrible of a play by anyone. You can more so chalk that one up to the Kings getting way too much offensive zone time. As I've said in the past, throw enough shots on net, eventually one goes in. The middle section of the period was a bit more standard, I guess you could say, for the Avs. The MacKinnon line was definitely doing work, but the Avs' depth was even more discombobulated than usual. With Soderberg still out this game, they put Kamenev on a line with Nieto and Como, and it pretty clearly wasn't working right from the get-go. Beyond that, just nothing was getting generated at all offensively. The Avs couldn't barely get out of their own zone, let alone carry it across the offensive blue line. This goes on through the rest of the first, basically, with that top line being the only one consistently generating any dangerous chances. And then right near the end of the period, Zadorov ends up taking a penalty, and of course it costs the Avs with just seconds to go. The play starts with the Avs unable to cover the seam pass over to Kopitar. Kopitar opts to hold on to this one and then try and make a pass down low. It gets broken up by Johnson with a good stick here. Fortunately, it bounces right out to the slot. You have Nemeth down, expecting Kopitar to shoot it here, so he's kind of knocked out of the play. So the man coming back here is Nieto. Nieto gets his stick on the puck, but he just smacks it right back to Kopitar, and he has a wide open net to put it into. And that one hurt a lot. You get out of the first period down 2-1. That's not bad. Just a 1-goal difference. Easy to get your way back into that one. Now you're down by 2. You got a lot of work to do through the rest of this game. So at first intermission, things weren't looking good, but the Avs weren't out of it yet. But the start of the second period pretty much set the tone for the rest of the game. 15 seconds in, MacKinnon gets a puck in the high slot. He rips a wrister. He beats Quick, but it rings off of the crossbar. Post number 61, and with that, you just knew something was going to go wrong. Sure enough, 30 seconds later, the Kings stretch the lead to 3. Puck behind the Kings net. Doughty's just going to come around and whip it up the far boards. It's a pretty routine clear here. It doesn't seem like anything dangerous, but it gets past Nemeth, and then Como, just stepping onto the ice, misplays the puck. Now it's past him, and Como's at a dead stop. Meanwhile, Reeder is screaming up the ice, blows right past him for an easy breakaway, and Varley just wasn't able to bail him out tonight. From this angle, you can see Como just stepping onto the ice now, and it almost looks like he gets caught by surprise on the puck coming up the boards to him. He's just not expecting it, and it gets by him. So from there, you pretty much got a feeling that the Avs just weren't going to get back into this one. If you doubted that, the Avs got a power play shortly after that goal, and it did absolutely nothing with it, and then would continue to do nothing through the entire first half of the second. While the Avs were bumbling around all over the ice, the Kings were just putting it in cruise control, and eventually Kopitar decides that he wants his hat trick. Kopitar is just going to pass this up to the Avs blue line. Seems like a pretty innocuous play here. It's 4-on-3, probably, something roughly like that. Zadorov covering the man with the puck, Barry being the defenseman back, as well as two back checkers all coming in here. Kopitar not only beats the back checkers, he then makes Barry look like, well, not a great defenseman, we'll put it that way. And then the sick backhand crushes Varley's soul. So, hat trick for Kopitar, Varley gets pulled, all that business. Game was already well over at this point. Avs would play out the rest of the second period and at least escape giving up anything to Bernier early after he entered the game, but the third period would be just as ugly as the rest. Two more goals would be scored. Unless you're a Kings fan, I imagine you don't really want to see them. Suffice to say, one of them was Barry making a really stupid play, and the other one was the Avs just getting beat once again. It was just a brutal night, and the Avs get Braziled for it. So there just isn't a whole lot of positives to take from this one. It's kind of been the standard for the Avs this year. As the season got later on, it seemed like they were starting to cut these big flunker games out of their season, but this one came back up again. And you know what? That's alright. It's going to happen with a young team. We are expecting things like this. It's not that big a deal, in my opinion. Obviously, the Avs need to forget about this one, reset a little bit, or maybe even use it to start a fire to get themselves going for the next ones. But again, one game like this, not going to fret too much. The good news is the Avs have put themselves in a situation where they could afford a loss, and a 7-1 loss is the same thing as a 2-1 loss when it comes to points in the standings. Alright, I mean, technically there's like tiebreakers and stuff that it could come into play with goal differential, but I wouldn't be too worried about that. As it currently stands, the two teams chasing the playoffs and the Avs right now are St. Louis and Dallas. Dallas has played 74 games, the same amount as the Avalanche, and are 4 points back. So unless the Avalanche help Dallas significantly, it's going to be pretty hard to get caught by them. St. Louis has gone on a bit of a run lately. They currently sit at 85 points to the Avs 88, but they also have a game in hand. So they can bring it to within 1 point, but still, the Avs would remain in the playoff position even if St. Louis wins their next game. So it's still the same story. The Avs still hold their own destiny, and they still hold a playoff spot. Had they won against the Kings, it probably would have been a real easy ticket to the playoffs. Instead, it's going to be down to the wire, and there's certainly going to be some nervy moments, but the Avs control their destiny, and based on the schedule they have, it should be more than possible for them to make the playoffs. It starts with this home and home against Vegas. Obviously, Vegas is a good team, but this loss to the Kings means the Avs need to at least split this series with them. If they can get 2 out of these next 4 points, that'll put them at 90. The magic number is starting to look more and more like 96 points to make the playoffs. That would mean the Avs would just have to play 500 hockey after that to make it in. Now, obviously, none of these upcoming games should be considered easy, but after these 2 Vegas games, the Avs have some games against teams like Philly, Chicago, Anaheim, and San Jose. Now, while most of those teams are in the playoffs, the Avs do have winning records against all of them. They also play another game against LA, and they finish the season with a game against St. Louis. So the Avs will have every opportunity to get themselves into the playoffs. It's fully up to them. Now, obviously, not having Soderberg tonight wasn't the reason we lost. It was a whole team loss, but getting him back in would certainly help a lot of the depth issues we've been seeing. All year long, the Avs have thrown out some big losses like this, and most of the time they've responded quickly. If they do that here, they should make it. That is the end of this game video review. Thank you for watching. If you want to watch a Kings fan's view of this game, there is a guy who made videos for them. I'll go ahead and put his video up here at the end of mine if you want to check it out. I'm Rudo3, and I'm going to Vegas.